Thank God. It's summertime. I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing a lot of bright sunshine. So, after a very, very rough winter, probably the roughest we've had in 10 years or more, we've finally broken the literal ice and we've come out the other side, and it looks like it should be a wonderful summer. And uh, in to help that along, we've decided to have an event when we would bring in different people from our parks department and different stakeholders and recreation providers and organizations in both the arts and recreation and in parks to just discuss their summer programs. This is the Old Astoria Neighborhood Association's May 27th meeting. I'm Richard Kuzami, and we'd like to start right away with from the Parks Department, New York City Parks. We'd like to start with our district manager, Regis Garcia. Regis, if you'd like to join us, greatly appreciate it. Good, Regis, good to see you. Mm-hmm. Can you hear us? Mm-hmm. If you can you hear us, Regis? If not,
good evening, everybody. I
there we
cannot
go.
hear for some reason. I'm having some technical difficulties, but hopefully everybody can hear me. So my name is Garcia Regis. I'm one of the park managers for Community Board 1. Pretty much here today. I just would like to get you guys know a little bit of what we are doing in Astoria Park. One of the biggest goals as the park manager for Community Board 1 is trying to make sure the place is clean and safe, but also trying to engage with the community. And I'm just going to take this opportunity today to tell you a little bit of some of the permitting that we'll be doing. A couple of free movie nights that will be given out. We'll be having, and some of the capital projects that will be happening in this community. So the first thing I think a lot of people have heard during June 11th, pretty much to July 19th, FIFA is going to be in town. So we are going to be limiting some of the newer permits that are going to be coming in. Does not mean that we're going to be stopping any permitted or special events, but some of the newer ones and some of the bigger ones may get denied. It's just with 250 America and FIFA, we just do not want to strain, especially NYPD, just to be in multiple locations at the same time. And there will be some pop-up like watch parties, stuff like that. So we just wanted to make sure that we're not overstretching the NYPD to the extent where they're dealing with multiple stuff at the same time. With that being said, during that same time period, as I was saying, parks will be having a couple events in Astoria, Central Astoria. So one of the biggest things that are coming up next week will be the Astoria Carnival, and that will be June 3rd, to June 7th. Also, there's going to be an Independence Day celebration that's going to be happening on June 25th. That actually brings a lot of attention to the park also with all the fireworks that are going to be happening on the Astoria Great Lawn. A couple things parks will also be having is a movie night at Dutch Kills Playground, Zootopia on June 6th. Astoria Ice, Paddington, there'll be another movie night there. I tell you all this because more stuff may be happening too, and I'll implore you to go to www.nycgovparks.org because events will pop up and that'll be a good source for you to be able to see what's going on, and especially at a park near you. There may be something, movie night or a free concert that's going on, and that's a great source for you guys to be able to go see what's going on. We're going to be having so if going around Community Board 1, I want to tell you about 3 capital projects that are coming close to completion and are actually complete. One thing that we have is Baby Queensbridge Park. It's actually, I want to say 99% done. I think they're going to be removing the fence soon. So on Vernon Boulevard and 21st Street, they actually made a nice small little sitting area. It has game tables. So it's a beautiful park, and soon you'll be able to go into there and enjoy the new sodded lawn, ping pong tables, nice little horde area. It's definitely a sight to be seen. We also have Dutch Kills Playground. They are redoing the MPPA area. So it's actually been open. It got closed again. So they're adding some seal coating, so some game lines on there. So it's going to be a nice place for kickball. There should be some pickleball lines. So it'd be a nice sight to see over there. And last, Wood Tree Playground. They actually redid the basketball courts over there. If you go online, it's actually a capital tracker. It's saying it's probably about 70% done. So hopefully by beginning of July, late June, you'll be able to enjoy that basketball court over there. The last thing I want to go over is a couple of concerns and a couple of rules. So with the summer coming along, I just want to remind everybody that the barbecue areas will get very, very busy. With that being said, that's the only place that you can actually barbecue at. So it's the only place that you're allowed to have an open fire. And for you would be Queensbridge, you have Rainy, and those would be your two barbecue sites. And just be mindful. You're not supposed to have any propane tank in there. We've been seeing a couple of issues of people bringing propane tanks. It's just be charcoal grilling, and just be mindful where we put in the charcoal. It can actually cause some damage. People are putting it on trees, putting it on the lawn, burning the lawn, and try not to be barbecuing anywhere near any of like the park houses or any of that, because we don't want to see anything get burned down. The biggest thing is just try to stay by the picnic area around the lawn. We want to see everybody having a good time. And I would tell you, if you have more than 20 people, you should be trying to get a permit. We are attempting to color code some of the areas. We just do not want to see, too many people in that one location, and especially in the barbecue areas. If you're going to have a lot of people, it may be nice that you set out a section for yourself. Um, just get there early because we will not be able to hold the area for you open for the whole day. But if you do get there, try to get there 8 o'clock. And if it is something that you're trying to celebrate with a lot of people, it's definitely good to have a permit. I want to touch on one last thing. Who do you get in contact if there's some concerns or any problems? I've been telling everybody the greatest thing, and one of the best things you could always do is go to 311. There's apps. You could call it in. As soon as you call in 311, we are actually, it's pretty live. We'll get it and we'll try to address it as fast as we can. There's also the district manager. You could reach out to Florence. That's also a good source of help. Besides that, if you do see any of the park employees in the neighborhood, let us know. It may not be something that we can get to immediately, but letting somebody know, we will try our best to address it as fast as we can, or we will also try to make it safe as possible until it can get fixed. Sometimes it's not something we could fix automatically. There's a process, but we will also always try to get it fixed as soon as possible. Pretty much that's what I have for you guys today. I'm gonna pass it off to my other partners with Parks.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I got one question for you, Regis. Before you go, is there anything that people can do, particularly towards the end of a weekend? One of the issues has always been overflowing garbage cans. Do you guys have any suggestions as far as what can be done about that? I'm not sure if people are having some sort of event. I guess they should make sure they should bring garbage bags in case they so they don't have to just fill up the cans. Do you have any suggestions along those lines? Can you hear me, Regis? Can you guys hear me in general? Okay, well, Victor, why don't we bring up next Ashley, okay? And we'll go from there since I'm not sure what's going on right now. Hey, Ashley, can you hear me?
Hi, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. We're great. Thanks a lot. Okay. So listen,
Good. Go ahead.
we really, really appreciate having you join us. I think this is the first time we've ever had somebody who has our wonderful Astoria pool under their domain, and it's just it's Astoria's most historic landmark. It goes way back to the days of Robert Moses, and but it's gone through a lot of renovations recently, and it's just one of the biggest assets we have in our community. So, Ashley, if you could take it away, we'd love to hear about what some of the events are this summer, what some of the rules are, and anything else that you might think is appropriate.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am the Borough Pool Manager / Coordinator for Queens. I'm going to start with um, hours of operation, and then I'll go into rules and regulations, and then to programming. For Astoria Pool, the hours of operation are Sunday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. The pool's open Saturday, June 27th through Sunday, September 13th. Patrons will not be allowed to enter the pool after 2:30 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. This will allow them enough time to change into their bathing suits, lock up their belongings, and shower. The whistle is blown at 2:45, which gives people ample time, and 6:45 to allow everyone enough time to be out of the locker rooms. So if you do show up at 2:40 and you think you have 5 minutes, unfortunately, they will not allow you in. It does take time to get through the locker room, and you would need to shower. So by the time you would actually get onto the deck, it would be too late and the whistle would blow on you, and we don't want anyone to be disappointed. Everyone must show their bathing suit and lock at the front entrance. You must have a bathing suit, regardless if you're going to be on the pool deck or not. All bags must be open at the front entrance and may be searched to ensure everyone's safety. So if the PEP officers in the front feel that you might have something that is not allowed in the locker room, they might take it from you. So pocket knives, mace, scissors, they will confiscate. I believe they'll give you your scissors back, but any knives or sprayer is something that is dangerous to the public, they will confiscate from you. Street clothes are not allowed on the deck. White t-shirts, rash guards, religious swimwear are all allowed. So sometimes people come in and they only have the swim shorts, but they have like a dark t-shirt. So we do have a vendor there. They are not affiliated with us. They do pay their permit to be there in the front. They do sell white t-shirts. I think they're $8. All their other bathing suits vary. I would ask that you probably buy something prior. It is expensive there. Their locks are probably running around $12. There is a bodega down the street on Ditmars. I think they sell their locks for $8. We also incorporated a fast pass lane last year. So if you are completely swim ready, that means you don't have any valuables, you don't have a cell phone, you're in your bathing suit, you have your towel, water bottle, and a book. If you have a book, you can come down the line and the supervisors at the front will allow you to go in. So if you're swim ready, you can definitely pass that long line. Children that are not potty trained must have a swim diaper to enter the facility. Again, regardless if they're swimming or not, you do need to have a swim diaper on the child. Diapers are not allowed to be changed on the deck. You would need to re-enter the locker room, change the child, and throw the diaper away inside the locker room. Towels, water bottles, books, hand sanitizers are all out on deck. Newspaper or anything that is not bounded is not allowed. We don't want anything to fly off and get into the pool and get sucked into the system. No cell phones are allowed. No outside foods or drinks are allowed. If you have a smartwatch, that is allowed. I know a lot of people use it to track their laps, and it doesn't have cameras. Patrons with disabilities and senior citizens have two options to enter. So you can either go down the main steps and skip the line. And then once you get to the front of the line, you'll inform the PEP officers or the supervisors that are there that you're a senior citizen or, you have a disability, and they will let you go in through there. The other is everyone's favorite is the ADA entrance at the back of the pool. When you're back there, you can actually see the parking lot across the lawn so that you're in the right space if you're there. It also has the rules and regulations and the dolphin posted. You still have all rules apply to anyone with disabilities and seniors. So cell phones are not allowed. I know that there are seniors that bring their cell phones because they need to call their ride, access a ride, a family member. So we ask that they keep their phones in their bag at all times. And if they need to use it, they do need to step out into the entrance to make that phone call. Food is not allowed. We do know that people, if they have low sugar or they have, an issue where they do need to have a snack, you are allowed a very small snack and drink. So we ask that you please not bring a whole meal onto the deck. It does cause chaos, and other patrons view that and say, how come they're allowed to do that and we're not allowed to do that? And we also have a vendor, a food vendor on the pool deck as well, and they are also permitted. And they sell food and drink, so that's why it's a conflict if anybody were to bring any food onto that deck. But like I said, for anyone with diabetes or any issues, can bring a small snack. If you want to bring a bag, because a lot of seniors don't go into the locker rooms, you're more than welcome to bring a hard, clear plastic bag. So no shopping bags, nothing that is not visible, or a shopping bag that can fly away and get into the pool, or a mesh bag, anything that we can see through, and it will get checked every day that you go in. Let me see. I'm sorry. Excuse me. After the first session, patrons are required to remove everything from their locker and take their locks as well. It cannot remain on the locker during the break. We do have issues where people tend to leave their locker on the lock, and then when they're in line, one of us would have to run to the back to actually verify if there's a lock on that locker, and we don't want anything happening during the break either. Make sure it's a sturdy lock. Any luggage locks, something that's like a diary lock, luggage locks, those won't be permitted. We do unfortunately have break-ins into lockers, so that's why we ask that you have something that is secure. We do have staff on site that go and check the lockers and make sure that all of them are actually clicked in, and anybody that brings a combination lock, we also will pull on it to make sure that it is not open, and then we'll change the dial so that if they left it on to where it did open, we change it so that they don't have access. We do have 2 family rooms. Everyone is welcome to use it that has a family. For parents that don't want their children to go into the locker rooms even after they've used the family room, this is usually younger children, 12 and younger. Sometimes parents still don't want a 15 or 16-year-old to go in there. So we do have an option once you enter the pool. There's a vestibule in the middle, or the ticket booth, and then behind that there's a gate. We call that the children's bench. So parents are more than welcome to leave their children at the children's bench. We do have an attendant. The parent will go through the locker room, lock up their belongings, take a shower, go onto the deck, and come up the middle to retrieve the child. And then we'll verify that you are the parent and allow the child to go with you. Now for programming begins, it's going to be Monday through Friday, and it's July 6th through August 28th. NYC Parks Camps is July 13th through August 21st. And the programs that they are bringing to Astoria is lap swim. So we will have the early morning swim. We will continue to have senior splash, learn to swim, swim team training, and then NYC Parks Camp. So we will have an outdoor camp and NYC Parks Camp. The schedule has not been set as of yet. Everything listed will be provided to the public for the 2026 pool season. Learn to swim lottery registration will go live on Monday, June 1st, 2026. The public can access this information on nycgovparks.org. When you get to that site, you'll click on programs, then click on swim programs, and a list of programs with the boroughs are there for you to choose from. Any questions, any more information that you need? I'll add one more thing for locks. People can share locks, but if you have a lot of luggage, some people come with luggage. If you have a lot of bags, it will not fit in those lockers. Try to bring as little as possible. If you do bring food, unfortunately, it's not allowed in the locker room. So we do have a box outside where you can leave your food and take it after.
Good. Thank you, Ashley. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I have a couple questions for you. I want to clarify something as far as a disabled entrance. There's 2 other entrances to the pool other than the main one. One is by the where the dive pool used to be. You have that entrance on the side there.
That's the ADA entrance.
Oh, that is the ADA entrance. Because there is another one. I happen to be one of those people that's disabled and a senior. But I used to come in through the back where the cars were parked. That's where they used to
Correct.
have us come in. So now it's through
Before.
the other entrance.
Yes.
And
So
the
go ahead.
go ahead. No, I said, and the other question we did get last year from a number of people, a lot of mothers with childs in carriages were asking if there's a way they could use that entrance. Is that open to them or no? I know that it was brought up quite a few times.
No, and I was in on those discussions as well. They are not
Mhm.
allowed to use that entrance. It's going to cause more of an issue than actually help anyone because they would still have to go on the pool deck and carry baby strollers are actually not allowed on the pool deck. They would still
Okay.
have to go
Mhm.
all through the pool deck, go up the back stairs, which I think are even more steep, then go in, take a shower, come back out with the stroller and go park it outside. And then we don't even allow the strollers into the locker rooms. There is an area at the entranceway where they can leave them. What they can do and what we have done also for the council member is we put signage directing them where to go. So they'll go down those main steps, and we do have a stroller sign that says, come down this way. And we do have an attendant there, and that attendant can actually help that parent down those steps. I do want to clarify, though, if it's a mother and her partner and the children, the mother with the stroller will go down on her own, and the partner and the children will go down the main steps. So they can either, when they get to the bottom, they can either enter and meet them inside, or they will wait at the bottom until their group comes through. Now, if it's a parent with a bunch of children and they don't have someone else, then they can all come down together and they can ask the person at the top to actually help them down with the stroller.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. I know that came up a few times last year. Okay, I'm looking forward to a great summer at the pool. Okay, and I'm glad to see that programming has come back. I know that for a few years it sort of disappeared, and that's great to see. And I'd like to thank you so much for joining us. And your
Thank you.
information is in the chat. Do you have your contact
Correct.
information? Beautiful.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. Victor, could you bring out Regis quickly again? I have something I want to ask him. Hey, I wanted to clarify one thing. Number one, you mentioned contacting Florence. Now, that is Florence from the community board, correct? That's what you're
Oh,
talking
that's correct. Yeah, Flores Coloris. Yes.
Yes, very good. And also, I also wanted to mention the question that I had was regarding one issue that comes up constantly is obviously the garbage and the trash. Is there any suggestions you can make to people? I know when a Sunday night comes along, sometimes the cans are overflowing. Would you suggest if somebody knows they're coming down there and they're going to be generating a lot of trash, should they bring their own garbage bags so at least it's not strewn out all over the place? I mean, is there any policy or suggestions you can make? Because that is one of the biggest issues that we have.
So Astoria, especially most of our parks, they get busy during the summertime. So what we've been trying to do is we've been trying to keep staff on a little bit later, but unfortunately sometimes they'll go past. So I would also ask if they could bring garbage bags, neatly leave it by the garbage cans. The first thing in the morning, we'll try to get staff out there and move it as fast as possible. One of the biggest issues is with the garbage just flowing around everywhere. That's kind of gonna hurt us a lot with rodent problems and all that stuff. So if you can bring bags out and if you can leave it close to the garbage cans, if the cans are over full, we're going to try to attack it first thing in the morning. That's kind of our push. We just try to move it as fast as possible. So yes, bringing garbage bag would help out a lot. If you know you're going to be partying with a large amount of people, that will definitely help out a lot.
Good. And are there any specific rules people need to know about the parking lot? I know Shore Boulevard is now closed. It's only accessed for pedestrians and bicycles, but the parking lot, there have been issues in the past where some neighbors in the neighborhood have tried to use it to park, even though they're not using the park. And I'd like to go over so people know for sure exactly what the rules are, because I think there are some people that are just not quite sure.
Parking lot, there is no overnight parking. We don't have a swing gate to close the place at night, but you should not be parking in the parking lot overnight. It's the same hours as the park, so 6 till 9 a.m., 6 till 1 o'clock. After that, there shouldn't be any vehicles in that parking lot at all. I would advise everybody, unfortunately, there is no overnight parking in that parking lot.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this morning they had the Eid celebration in the park, and one of the issues in the past was the parking facility. So this year, the NYPD did actually close off some of the streets around, so that was not an issue, and that's made that situation much better, because that's a very highly attended event. So.
Oh, I was there this morning. Sounds like he was there too. Last time it was just double park vehicles, and we want the park to be enjoyed by everybody, but we don't want to cause a huge inconvenience to the community all around. It was just a lot of double park vehicles and vehicles just parked in front of people's driveways, unfortunately. So we got to make sure that everybody is enjoying. I want the event to go successful, but we got to make sure we're not in public around too.
Yeah, that's probably one of the busiest events they have all year in the park, I think. So, okay. Well, thank you so much, and it's great to have you. You come from a long line of great parks managers. But I've been on the community board for 26 years, and I've got to know all of them. And I'm looking forward to working with you, and either as on the community board or here with Old Astoria. So thanks.
Oh, same here.
And now I'd like to bring out Alejandra.
Hello, everybody. I'm just going to
Hi,
share
Alejandra.
it really quickly.
Okay, so go for it. You can hear everything. Everything is good.
I think so. Can everyone see my screen? I think they're going to pull it up now. Beautiful. Good. Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. My name is Alejandra Vanegas, and I am the Senior Community Engagement Coordinator with Partnerships for Parks. And I wanted to give you guys a bit of a spiel of who we are and what we do, and how to be a little bit more involved in community beautification projects and possibly different community groups that are happening in your park spaces. Alrighty, so a little bit about partnerships and who we are. So we are a joint program between the City Parks Foundation and the New York City Parks Department. So what does that mean? Essentially, CPF is the portion of partnerships that tries to invigorate and transform parks into this dynamic, vibrant center of urban life. And they do that through a number of different programming like sports, arts, and just to enable community building and education programming. And then our other portion is the New York City Parks Department, and they're committed to, can you guys see me? I just got a note that my sound is off and the screen is frozen. Okay, I'll continue. And essentially, PFP combines those values in our work with grassroots communities and community partners, and which we have a couple throughout Astoria, and I'll talk about a little bit more, to support communities and parks and just make places publicly accessible and open for everyone and all. And we really do this because we believe that thriving parks means thriving communities. And it's no secret that in New York, New York City, not everybody has a backyard, and park serves as an extension of people's homes. So we want to be sure that we are nurturing it the way that everyone deserves. So I am part of the community engagement team, and community engagement coordinators like myself, we operate as like a bridge between the community and parks. And really what we do is we aim to uplift the voices of community members and advocate those ideas and thoughts to park staff and the agency, and kind of find a middle ground between the two as best as we can. So really we respond to the needs of neighborhood parks communities by facilitating these conversations between community park groups and grassroots groups and the Parks Department. And really PFP wants to support groups' visions for community parks by connecting them to us, to the New York City Parks Department, City Parks Foundation, maybe other peer local organizations or partners that we have resources and access to that can support a community group's vision for what it is they exactly want to see within their park space. And here pictured, we have a really great community group, not in Community Board 1, but OANA Neighborhood Maintenance, and they do a lot of beautification projects all throughout the Ozone Park, Rego Park area. And we do have a couple of community partners who do this exact thing within Astoria itself. So here's a list of a couple of different community partners that we have within Community Board 1. So we have quite a few, and each do their own type of activity or their own type of engagement within the parks themselves. So Friends of is our general like tagline type of community group name that most of our community partners use. So you'll see a couple of Friends of groups that are here on this list. But we have Athens Square Playground, Astoria Heights Park, Hallett's Cove and Hallett's Point. We have the sitting area in Astoria, which is Access Oasis, forward facing, but internally we call them Triborough G. We have Whitey Ford Field. And then there's also a really cool volunteer directory that's available for public use and access through our Vital Parks tool. So if you Google the volunteer directory for New York City Parks Department, this will come up, and I can bring it up really quickly so that you guys can see, or maybe not. That's okay. I'm happy to send this presentation to Richard to hopefully share with the rest of you participants, so you can click the links and take a look at exactly like what I'm referring to. But using that directory, you can not only just see the different community groups that you have within your local area, you could also see the different groups that we have all throughout New York City. Because while we have a very vast amount of community partners here, we have a couple hundred more of them throughout New York City. So it'd be a really nice way to step out of the general area and see what else is out there. Alrighty, and then the best ways to see what's happening within your local community, or as I mentioned further, if you want to venture out a little bit, is through our volunteer calendars. So we have two. We have one that's through our City Parks Foundation website, and you can see here there's an example of two that are happening in Bensonhurst Park and Bushwick Inlet. There were only two that came up so far within Astoria itself that's public. There's one that's happening in Astoria Heights on June 6th. And there's another one that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but these two calendars are where you can find exactly what I'm talking about. So the City Parks Foundation one will only list our traditional volunteer campaign, which is our It's My Park projects. So there you'll be able to find partnerships for parks and our community partners specific volunteer events that are happening. But there are several volunteer projects that happen sometimes outside of us. And the New York City Parks Department calendar is a really good place to see if there are other options or other things that are happening throughout Queens or New York City that you might be interested in. And then really briefly, if you're hearing this and you are asking yourself, like, what does it take or what does it mean to become a community partner? There are a couple steps here to consider when trying to navigate if becoming a community partner is something that you're interested or want to dip your toe into. And the first place to start is really to select a park. It could be that it's a park that you attend really regularly and you feel like maybe there's like an abundance of litter and you really want to do your part in getting some people together to pick up garbage, or you see that there's maybe like an empty horticulture bed that you would like to discuss the possibility of getting some plants into. It really starts with like little things like that, where you just want to be a little bit more involved in the park space itself. So let's say you choose a park like Astoria Heights. That park already has a community group, so we always encourage people to join those. But it could be that, you have separate goals or ideas for that particular space, and that's okay too. And let's say you select a park and you choose, I'm trying to think of one that comes to the top of my head, Ditmars, right? You choose Ditmars and you have an idea of what you want your first project to be. The next step would be to connect with me, where we can discuss like what some of your thoughts are, what those goals are, and I can really talk through those with you to discuss like what's our next step. And our next step traditionally is, forming this group and planning your first Is My Park project, which is this beautification project. And let's say we select a weeding project as our first way to really activate the space. So you'll submit an application. I'll talk through the process with you, and we'll work with Garcia to get approval, because we want to make sure that anything that we do isn't counterproductive to the plans and the procedures for the park space itself. And once we've got the green light on everything, we post these events on our website, as you saw prior, and try and get as many people involved as possible. And then we host the first project, and a project can be as small as 5 people to as big as 50. What matters is that people show up in a space and perform an activity that's not only helpful for the community itself and the space itself, but it's also helpful and valuable for our parks workers as well. So it's an effort that doesn't go unnoticed and is always really appreciative. And I always find that when I or maybe other community partners leave a project, they feel proud to make a difference, no matter how big or small it is. And that's where step 6 really leads us to, where you kind of reflect on how that project made you feel, and if it's something that has motivated you to want to do more, and then you would work with me to kind of plan the next one. So if you're interested, I believe my information will be shared within the chat, so please feel free to reach out to me directly. We have a couple of social media sites that would be really great for you guys to check out if you're interested in any updates, partnerships for parks related, and my information is also on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra. Listen, I wanted to mention to everybody, if you're listening to the live stream, that if you have any questions for any of the guests, just type them in the chat and we will see them there and we'll try to ask them. If for some reason they're not available, we can still do some outreach to them and see if we can get you guys an answer. So feel free to use that. A couple questions for you, Alejandra. First of all, this is not, probably you may or may not be aware of these 2 questions, but it's more foundations. But from what I remember, Summer Stage has concerts here on the waterfront also. Do you have any information on those, or is that something that would be separate from what you do?
I don't have information on like if there is a specific event that's happening on the waterfront. However, City Parks Foundation did release their Summer Stage schedule. So I would recommend anyone who is interested in seeing where the closest Summer Stage event is to them in Queens to check out their website, because there they have the entire list that's been public for everyone to browse through.
Good, thank you. And again, this is another question that I'm not sure which is the right person to ask this. One of the biggest amenities we have here in the park is the tennis courts. And I don't know if you know anything about them, about how the permitting process works or how you get in, or is that something more for Garcia or something, or I'm not sure.
It could be maybe more for Garcia, but from my understanding, when it comes to a field or a spot within a park in general, it's always better to get a permit, just because it saves your space and it allocates you or it allots you the time to be there at a specific frame of time. So I would recommend, if you'd like to use the tennis courts or any other court for that matter for a certain period of time and really save your space, to submit, I think it's a field permit. that would be. 'Cause there's two types of permits. There's a special events permit, which is some of what Garcia was talking about, and then there's a field permit to use those like sporting spaces. But I don't know if Garcia has something to add on to that, but that's my understanding.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much for a great presentation, as always. Okay, I look forward to working with you this summer. I'm sure our paths are going to cross quite a bit. Thank you so much. Garcia, are you still there? Do you want to add anything? That's okay. We'll figure out these other problems about the tennis courts and stuff later. But again, thank you so much, and have a great summer. Okay, Victor. By the way, from the Parks Department, if you could leave the backstage now, so we can let other people in, we'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks. And I'd like to bring up now, one of the things that's wonderful about the Astoria waterfront is its cultural assets. Three of the main anchors along the stretch between Rainey Park and Astoria Park are the Gucci Museum, the Socrates Sculpture Park, and the Welling Court Mural Project. And we're very lucky to have two of the three joining us today. And I would like to start with Sean Leonardo from Socrates Sculpture Park. Sean, great to have you. Congratulations on your new position. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful summer season. So, Sean, take it away.
Thank you very much, Richard. And I'm looking forward to an incredible summer season as well. My name is Sean Leonardo. I am the recently appointed executive director of Socrates Sculpture Park, though I was co-director last year. And actually, my history with the park dates back 20 years. So for those of you in virtual land, you may still remember my face. I was actually director of public programs between 2005 and 2015, and in the interim became a board member. So this is a very humbly exciting and incredible homecoming to be at the park in this capacity, especially since 2026 is the park's 40th anniversary. Now, for those of you that are less familiar with Socrates, I'll give you a very quick history of the park, because I think it's important to understand its origin story and the ways in which we are pulling inspiration from that story to really dictate where we put our energies and what we invest in for this year and beyond. In 1986, our founder, Mark DeSuvero, brought together a coalition of community members, many of whom are still living in Astoria houses, along with many artists and friends and supporters, to clear what was then a defunct landfill and an illegal dump site. Really in the belief of a dream, a vision that the space, the land could become something greater. That it could become a place where public art could be created in deep connection with the context of the land and the very people that would then enjoy that work. And that founding ethos is still what is the thread between everything that we do. And so I'm going to share a presentation that illuminates not only this year's initiatives, but really will continue to call back to this inspiration of our origin story and really describe how the park's central purpose of everything that we do is at the intersection of the land, the people, and art. To this day, we are the only arts institution and only park that invites artists on site to fabricate their works in the lead up to a presentation for a park-wide exhibition. So it's in that demystifying of public art that there's a special magic, that artists are working in deep connection with their community members and in the context of the site. And you'll hear that come up in all the initiatives that I'm about to illuminate. One second, I'm going to share screen. So 2026, 40th anniversary of this very special, beloved place. And I should explain that we are now or soon to be a 6-acre park on the East River waterfront at the intersection of Vernon and Broadway. We are open every day of the year from 9 a.m. to sunset, and every single one of the offerings that I'm about to describe and everything that we do is absolutely free to our community members. You heard me say about to be 6 acres because we are a 5-acre park, yet we are about to integrate an additional acre of land entitled The Point. So for those of you that are familiar, it's the mysterious plot of land closest to the waterfront on our southwestern edge that has historically been used as a maintenance and fabrication space for the park and our founder, Mark DeSuvero. I should explain that Mark, while no longer actively working out of his studio just north of the park, Mark having arrived to the neighborhood in 1985 following Isamu Noguchi, that the studio was actually still very active. Mark is on the West Coast primarily, though he frequently visits us, and is now 92. So the point and the integration of that acre of land is an opportunity for us to continuously orient our guests to our origin story with a long-term exhibition of 3 of Mark's monumental works that were fabricated on site but never before exhibited. It would also be a space where we animate our archive. We have 40 years of incredible material, not only speaking to our founding story, but 40 years of artists working on site. And so therefore this year, we've initiated a major investment in the preservation, documentation, and public release of our archive, prioritizing documents from our first 2 decades. So this intimate, almost peninsular acre of space will be a zone where through programming, certainly the exhibition, alumni re-engagements, interpretive material, and signage, we anchor the park in this founding story so that people understand, particularly newcomers, understand that the site, the space, the park is not solely a place to enjoy and consume, that it is an active experiment that requires each of our participation. This idea of a space being so closely aligned between community, land, and artistic production is continuously evolving and therefore requires not only our belief, but our support and our active participation in everything that we do. This sort of shows you some before and after pictures and gives you a sense of the works that will be on view. We are in partnership with the Brooklyn Grange that used to have a site in Queens for the landscaping portion and are working vigilantly to clear the land, site the work, develop the pathways and beautiful landscaping around the exhibition for public opening in October of this year. This expresses some of the archive material that we have been finding. This image in the center gives you a sense of what the land looked like in 1986 where, as I said, this coalition of artists and community members under the leadership of Mark DeSuvero just really started clearing the land of debris, abandoned cars, trash, industrial material for this possibility that has now become Socrates Sculpture Park. So we are actively seeking archival material from our community members. That is what you see on the right. You'll see a submission process on our website. Should you have any ephemera, photos, or even just stories that you'd like to share with us. And accompanying this deep investment in our on-site material is an oral history project. So we have been actively interviewing individuals that remember working on the site. So both community members and artists, alumni, sharing their memories of what it was like in the early days of our founding. As an extension of the work at the point, we have decided for the first time in our 40-year history to engage alumni to return to the park so that they can re-engage a site that was so formative to their early careers as a launch pad for careers in public art, but also so that our guests, our park goers, get to experience for the first time the evolution of artists' practices, artists that have really indelibly made a mark within the public art canon. So on view right now, just installed as of 2 weeks, is Shakaya Booker, an incredible artist who is really a pioneer in the public art space, an early Black woman artist that experimented on site and exhibited in 1994 and 1997. The bottom two left images are two of the three monumental works that are now on view. We'll be welcoming back Sanford Biggers, who first exhibited in the park in 2001 and installed his work during 9/11. And then finally next year, we're welcoming back Alison Starr, an incredibly storied public artist who really experimented on site in the earliest days of the park and exhibited in 1988. I also wanted to mention our deep investment in early career artists. This year, around our fellowship, we decided that rather than an open call, we would go back to our alumni to elect those fellows that would really, because of where they are in this pivotal moment in their career, most make use of the opportunities of the fellowship. And so we returned to the idea of a 1987 exhibition, the third ever exhibition at the park, entitled Artists Choose Artists, and are now brought in 10 artists that will develop their works across 2 years, of course, with the accumulation of works occurring in the park, with the hope that anytime any of you come and join us at the park, you may experience a new work. We've also deepened our commitment to early career artists by expanding the resources available to them. And so therefore, our artists now have longer timelines, customized support, deeper technical support, fabrication, and expanded resources with additional project funds and honorarium to really allow them to make best use of the opportunity of being with us at the park. We also, under the umbrella of our 40th anniversary, have returned to relationships really dear to our hearts and that have been in deep support of everything we do. So as an extension of our relationship with Materials for the Arts, we will actually be welcoming in one of their artists in residence for a co-commission that will begin fall of this year and also continue with another artist next year. And similarly, we're shifting our model to an organizational residency model and have brought in a partnership for our youth education and are working now deeply with Start Empowerment for the relaunch of our teen programming called Socrates. Socrates youth that are high school youth develop technical and leadership skills through projects rooted in environmental stewardship and public art, and work closely not only with our educators, but our artists on site for a year-long process. And oftentimes our youth stay on beyond a year, developing deep relationships and collaborations, not only with one another, but with all staff, and develop programmatic ideas on behalf of the park. And this is after a year-long lull in Socrates programming due to a lack of funding. So we're so excited to be able to relaunch and dedicate ourselves to youth leadership in our neighborhood. And that's really just a glimpse of everything that we have to offer. I encourage you all to go to our website, socratessculpturepark.org. We have a full array of programming across the week and every weekend, including youth workshops, family workshops. The Metropolitan Opera is returning through summer stage. We have dance, we have meditation, kayaking, where you'll hear from Ted later on today, and meditation Of course, our park-wide festivals, the largest and next coming summer solstice on June 21st, which will also be the opening and unveiling of 3 of our new sculptures. So a lot happening this year, a lot to offer. We're filling the park with sculptures and just really want to see as many of you join us to celebrate.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Great
got
overview. Yep, good. Well done. Any question? What's going to be happening in terms of live performance entertainment? I know you do some of that there. As a matter of, I'm not sure if you had the Metropolitan Opera.
Metropolitan Opera will be joining us very
Yes.
soon in June. We're also the site for the Q-Borough Dance Festival. They'll be coming back. Astoria Pride Picnic, I think it's their 4th or 5th annual picnic. They'll be coming back with live performance. We also have Pioneers Go East, which is live dance performance. It is actually a mentorship and choreography program. They're coming back for a weekend. And of course, we have the major New York City Guelaguetza Festival in July. So there's a lot happening in terms of live musical and dance performance happening at the park.
Good, and anybody can sign up for your newsletter. We also will share that same information on our feed.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate. And let me see. Oh yeah, you have a certain party coming up too, right?
Oh, thank you for the prompt, Richard. That's really kind of you. Listen, it's very hard to do everything that we do. I think all the organizations on this call would say so. It's only becoming increasingly hard to maintain the park because we've dedicated ourselves so much to improving the site. I often have to say, every single planted tree that you see at Socrates was either contributed from an artwork or donated. So as we beautify the site, it only gets more expensive. And then, of course, the funding landscape is constantly shifting underneath our feet. So to your point, Richard, on June 4th, next Thursday, is our 40th anniversary gala, staged in the most magical location, just north of the park at Mark de Souvreau's Waterfront Studio. You can find all the ticketing information and also the program on our website, socratessculpturepark.org.
Well, thank you very much, Sean. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to a great summer. We'll be seeing you very soon. Okay.
Absolutely, and I'll see you at the party yourself, Richard.
Yeah, I'll be there. Okay, great.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. I'd like to now one of the other main assets on our waterfront is Welling Court, which is a public art curated project that's been around for a number of years. It's going through some management changes now, and I'd like to bring out Luigi Pepe, who's a neighbor and has been in the community for many years. Hi, Luigi.
Hi, Richard.
And he's going to explain, Welling Court, what it is, how you can access it, and what the future looks like. So, Luigi, take it away. And I think that Victor, you have a presentation, correct? That you can share. Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Richard. Yeah, I'm Luigi Pepe, president of the Welling Court Neighborhood Association, and we have been doing this project. It actually originated back in the day, it seemed like a lifetime ago, in my shop with my neighbor. We had this idea because we were frustrated as our walls would get tagged and bombed, as I called it, with its 5-minute throw-ups, and we would paint over the walls, and a short while later they get bombed and tagged again. And so my neighbor came to me in my shop. It was also my customer, of course, and came up with this idea. He said he saw a documentary about transforming walls into works of art. And from there, this project was conceived, and it has grown, and it's been about 17 years since it started. And we are now adjusting ourselves as the landscape changes. We are changing our programming to accommodate the landscape. It's not a set program because especially lately, as things change, the buildings in the area change. What used to be single-story, 2-story structures are now turning into 4, 5, 6, 8, or there's a 9-story structure being built just around the corner from Welling Court. So our landscape changes, we adapt to it, so the programming changes to adapt to the landscape. To reach these higher spots, we're going to need machinery like lifts to reach them. So there's that. That's also right now a detriment to us because the funding is just strictly donations and volunteer time by community members to make this happen, plus the artists. And there's a lot of dynamics that go into play. For example, Wellingport Neighborhood Association facilitates the activities. The building owners and managers provide the canvas for the artwork to be made. Community members provide the stewardship to accommodate the artists with the buildings, and the artists, of course, provide the vision. So Wellingport Neighborhood Association is pretty much the straw that stirs the drink. They bring all those ingredients together to present a 24/7, 365, open all year outdoor living art gallery, which changes from time to time. What's here today may not be here tomorrow. As we had an artist paint today, there were several artists painting the other day. So the gallery, if you will, is in constant flux, always changing. So we pretty much accommodate the artists, and then we celebrate them once a year with an annual block party, which will be coming up in June 27th, a month from now. This year we plan to have some live music, some live artwork being painted, good food, good times. If you're in the area, please come out. It's open year round. So also these artists are given free range to create, provided that the art be created in good taste, with non-offensive content. We suggest to leave politics, ideologies out of it because it's divisive by nature. We're looking to make things that bring us together and lest that tear us apart. Scrolling through some of these slides. Are the slides up? Mm-hmm. Can they see the slides? Okay. Right now, what we have up here, for instance, on the left, that's a piece done by an artist from Japan, Maiko Yoshizawa, who had spent approximately about 10 days working on it. That structure has been demolished since this beautiful work has been done. So the artwork is not permanent. It's changing with the landscape. So it's quite a challenge. On the right, we have a piece of work from Annabelle Popa, which is still here. It's on Wellingport. You can come see it, it's still here. That we anticipate her changing it by the next block party, maybe even on the block party. Over here, we have another piece. This is a collaboration between Chris Soria and Mishu Tutunik, who goes by M.Season. It's inspiring the youth in our neighborhood to rise and as their superheroes and to inspire. Pretty much what we'd like to do is to inspire. We're passionate about inspiring others and transforming the surrounding area with artistic expressions. Here's another piece. Here on the left is a rendition of The Last Dragon created by an artist who told me that was his favorite movie, which was based in Queens. I didn't know that. On the right, we have a beautiful piece by Georgia Violet. As you can see in the eyes of the fish, there's details in the bridge and a lot of colors, a lot of bold colors. Here on the left, we have Fumero, Fumeroism. He's been painting in the neighborhood over 10 years, perhaps 12 or more, almost from the inception of this project. It's a mind over matter, help people to inspire. On the right, we have Almonte Studio, a local artist living in Astoria, who worked with the wall. As you can look at the center of the wall where the water is pouring out, there's a pipe. When it rains, that pipe leaks water. Come out during the rain if you want to see this in action. There's a lot of interacting pieces that go with the landscape. Here on the left is another collaboration. This is from artists Caleb Nelon and Katie Yamasaki. The woman on the backpack holding the baby as a backpack is what she sees as the neighborhood, as the tradition in the neighborhood On the right is one of our newest pieces from this year. Very dynamic, bold artist, Brianna Lewis, which is called the Garden of Eden because it's in front of a herb garden. So again, here on the left, we have Nando's art. It's a scene of a city street, which goes perfectly with the setting. Even the weeds growing in front of it becomes part of the artwork. On the right is another local artist, Fernando. Nando's art is also local, living in Astoria. On the right, the Astoria original ski, My Stress Therapy. Dream, I mean, dreaming is always good. Beautiful scene there. On the left, we have a piece of work from Patrick McCrary, the bird distorting a face. On the right, we have another Lamonte studio, another local artist. On the left, here's another dynamics that was taking consideration the landscape, art by Luch. Luch had another vision in mind when he came and found a board overlapping another. He changed his piece to this beautiful piano, music electric, with the piano being the edge of the board. On the right is a piece by an artist, Matt True. Here on the left is a piece of work from an artist, Floozer. This was for him a special person in his life. It was a deceased aunt who died young. However, before she passed away, she influenced him in art. So he did this as a tribute to her. It was a very nice gesture. On the right, we have Brian McNulty, another local Queens artist. It's city scenes. It was pretty much requested by our neighbor George, who lives there and wanted it look in a certain way. And Brian was nice enough to accommodate him. So a lot of the neighbors and artists connect with each other, and all these dynamics make it happen. Here on the left, we have on Ian Cinco, Neon Spring. Ian's a pretty extreme artist. He makes a lot of peeling faces. This Neon Spring is his comic series. On the right, we have Lucia Dutazaka. She creates her magic alligator with the flowers with eyes. Here's another collaboration. This was here last week. It's not here anymore, but we still have the photos and the memories of it. It's a collaboration between 4 artists. On the left, you have Chame, Champs, with O'Neill Tattoos. On the center, you have Loki Warner. And on the right, we have Yo Skills Art. Another beautiful collaboration. Again, it's not here. The new pieces are going up now on it. And that might change soon as well. So it's constantly moving, constantly dynamic. Yes, again, our block party, Welling Mall's block party on Welling Court, June 27th, 12 to 6 in Welling Court. There's no admission. We plan to have live music, live art. We'll have a workshop for kids, fun, food, music, art, creativity. That's what brings us together. This is our mission, and it's a driving force behind everything we do. And how do you can explore the murals by taking a walk through the area. You can walk them any day or time you like. They're located mostly in Welling Court and 30th Avenue and the surrounding, I say 2 or 3 block radius. Take pictures. You can tag us on it at Welling Walls. Follow us there on Instagram. We also have a wellingcourt.com website that you can visit, where we're trying to keep the sequence where we're now uploading in 2025 work that's been made. That's not quite complete yet, but we're getting there little by little. So like I said, the new work is always evolving, always changing. especially with the weather being as it is, and artists with an itch to come out and paint. There's a lot of art that will be coming out the next 4 weeks until our block party, and perhaps quite a bit of time afterwards as well. So we'll see you there at Welling Court. Thank you so much for having us. I appreciate it. We on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you go. Yeah. Hi, Richard.
Oh, you couldn't hear me. Okay. Yeah, listen, thank you so much for the presentation. I know it was done in short notice. You did a good job. Appreciate it. And it's great to see these artists are all working for free. They're all presenting, and it's great to expose their work to the public. This is what you're doing, and this is even what we're doing here with this particular slideshow and things like that. So I think that number one for me is to support the arts and support the artists. One thing I'd also like to mention that in terms of where this is located, Welling Court, I guess the main attraction near there would be the community garden. You're right near the community garden. So if anybody wants to know exactly where the area is, you just go down to the community garden and you'll see Welling Court, and you see a lot of murals all over the walls. So and hope to see everybody down at the block party. Looking forward to it. I'll see you there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hope so.
And also, you have your email address I see is on the screen. So if anybody wants to reach out to Luigi, you can email him, or you can go to his website. Is your website and Instagram on the chat? If not, Victor can put it there. Just send him a private message with that information, and he'll add it onto the chat. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's our Instagram on display there. But we'll put the website into the chat with Victor.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Instagram. Okay, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much,
Talk
Richard.
soon. Okay. Listen, one thing I wanted to mention that Ashley Burnell put in the chat, which I just noticed. Ashley was the pool manager for Queens. And she said she forgot to add that the Parks Department is celebrating 90 years of swimming in Astoria. Astoria's day of celebration will be July 2nd, 2026. I'm going to see if I can get some more information on it, and we will share it on our website. And I'd like to bring out now Neil Hurden from Whitey Ford Field, the Friends of Whitey Ford Field, which is a facility down by the bottom of the peninsula near the Hellgate. Neil?
Hello, my name's Neil Hurden, and I'm the co-chair of Friends of Whitey Ford Field. We were set up in 2017. Blair Clancy, Whitey Ford's granddaughter, is my co-chair. If you don't know already, Whitey Ford was probably the greatest pitcher in Major League Baseball. He won 6 World Series, and he was a 10-time All-Star. The field was renamed after him in August 2000. It was previously known as Astoria Athletic Field, and it goes back to 1906. Was built between 1906 and 1908. And we are doing a lot of amazing stuff down there. Last year we had a movie night, the first time Field of Dreams. And this year we're going to have a few exciting things on them. The first thing that's coming up that we know is registered is we're going to have City Parks Foundation is going to put on a puppet show. It's called Pinocchio. It's about 45 minutes. And our challenge is getting 40 to 100 kids to come down there, which is going to be a bit of a challenge, but I think we can do it with hopefully with the Hallett Points Alliance, and other people will get out there. Now, I want to tell you something really exciting that we've been doing in the background is I've been shooting with a bunch of students from Frank Sinatra High School, what's basically between a PSA and an infomercial about conditions down at Whitey Ford Field. The kids have been absolutely amazing. They've gone down, shot in the rain, they've shot the flooding, they've shot a lot of the events. These are all incredible students, I have to say. I went to the to their festival 2 weeks ago, and the quality of the films was actually amazing. High value quality. They shot in snow. They shot in Sweden. They shot over many places. Now we are in post production, and by post production is we're editing the first cut or the rough cut that everybody shot down at the field 3 weeks ago when we had the cleanup. And what we're about to do now is we're about to get a voiceover artist. And Nelson from the New York City Rising Stars is probably going to do the voiceover for us. He's incredibly knowledgeable about the field. And Dan from Frank Sinatra High School is also participating. He's going to have one of his baseball players down there do some commentary for us. We're working out the music, we're working out the logic, but it's amazing. I had to pitch this down in April. I had to present before basically 60 students, and 5 students wanted to do the project, and it's absolutely fantastic. I go in there every 2 or 3 weeks. They show me the rough cut, and it looks very professional. So now we have to put everything together, and we're going to do some more editing. It has to be completed by the end of the school year, which is June of July of 2026. Absolutely amazing kids. It was dedicated, interested, want to know about the field. They sent me a deck. Deck is basically a compilation of slides and information about the field to pitch that to me, and it was basically 99% correct. So that was fantastic. They did the deck for me, and then we got into the actual shooting. There are basically 5 kids down there. They're basically, I don't know what the best American expression of high school is because I grew up in England, but they're first and second year, what do you call them, juniors and sophomore, whatever. So they're mostly, and then we have one kid, I don't know what year he's in, who's basically doing a lot of the advanced editing, and it's broken down properly. So we have I inspired the idea. We have a producer, we have an associate producer, we have cinematographer, we have a PA. So it's done like a traditional movie, very professionally done. I was very impressed when we went down to the field. They made sure they had their permits, everything signed. I had to sign it, that a proper permit with them. So it's very good. And we're hoping to, I was hoping to get June, but it's been an absolutely amazing experience working with these kids, and they're really, really good. I highly recommend them, for anybody wanting to do projects. We're also going to be doing a home run derby. That should be in July. That's going to become an annual event, which I hope was going to bring more. Last year, we had a whole bunch of kids from different schools in New York City who applied and came down, and that was an amazing experience. I'm hoping to put on some more events. We've got to get permits for them. But one of the things is I've been talking to the 114th precinct. They're going to come down and basically have something equivalent to a national night out. Well, they'll hand out bags and gifts and things like that for kids to be interested in. We're going to talk about, educating people about the field, about not bringing dogs on the field. And that's a solution based on the discussion we had back in January, the Zoom meeting we had with Jaswell. The easiest way to do it is just to have it as a community meeting at the field. So that's in the works. The other thing I want to do is, as some of you may know, many years ago, the field had a league called the Police Athletic League. So we're exploring the possibility of bringing some activities back to the field. That'd be really exciting. I spoke to the 2 community affairs officers last week. They're looking into that for me. It can be just like, it doesn't have to be softball or baseball. Maybe we can set up a basketball court, or there's possibility there's going to be touch football down there, which is going to be organized by Mentors on the Move. I haven't heard anything about that. And then we're going to put on some other events. So it's been a very exciting 3 months. It's been very productive. I'm looking forward to getting the final film cut by the end of June, and then we can send it out. And I think it'll probably be in their festival next year. And that's it. Now, I don't know how to, on the iPad, it's like I don't know how to bring up the chat, but my email address is friends of Whitey Ford Field at gmail.com. That's friends of Whitey Ford Field at gmail.com. And we have a website, which is friendsofwhiteyfordfield.org, and of course a Facebook page. And with Michael in the background, we're going to get other parts of our social media up, our X and Instagram, and we're going to build out an infrastructure. And then we're working with 2 other organizations that are interested in supporting us. One is called Hydro-Quebec. They supported us last year. As you know, they've been doing laying the cables along the waterfront, the power cables. And I've had a recent discussion with Durst, and they seem pretty enthusiastic about what we're doing. And so we're working on another project that we hope will benefit the field in the coming years. So exciting things are happening, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Neil. Thanks a lot. You've been an institution in this community for a lot of years, and it's glad to see your focus on Whitey Ford Field.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil, so much. Okay. Next, everyone, in conjunction with Socrates Sculpture Park, and wait a second, I see another note here that I want to share with everybody. And this I find very exciting because at Socrates, it looks like they're hoping to relaunch their outdoor cinema, which was an international film festival discontinued in 2019. They asked that you check out their website and see if they are able to start it up again. And I have a particular good memory of this because I am a musician myself, and during some of the performances I actually did perform before the movies, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great community event. Okay, so next I'd like to bring out the Long Island City Boathouse and Ted Gruber, who works in conjunction with Socrates and also has facilities down in Long Island City. Ted, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Richard. I was almost ready, and then I just realized I've got a little technical problem. I wonder if anybody can tell me how to full screen a PowerPoint slideshow. When I share my screen, you'll see the whole PowerPoint window if I can't figure that out. Let's see. First, I should share the screen, right? Plus sign. Share the screen. Share the screen. Select the tab to share. Entire screen. Share. What are you guys seeing?
Hey, Victor, you want to jump on and guide him?
I see myself. I see Richard. I don't see my shared screen. Could that be because I'm in the wrong window? How's that? Do you see that now?
Yeah. So what you want to do is now just go into slideshow mode there.
How do I do that? Where's the button?
Let me see.
There we go. We got it.
You hit slideshow, the tab on top, right next to
Slideshow.
animations. Yep. And
Okay.
then from the beginning, all the way to the left.
From the beginning. Magic. Okay. Thank you.
Great coach.
I want to thank Danica for putting this thing together for me. I should have practiced since I had a week. Okay. I've got to start my timer so I don't go overtime like last time. I feel like that guy on the TV commercial, right? We need a new tech guy. Anybody seen that? Password 123. Okay, I'm Ted Gruber. I'm chair of the Long Island City Community Boathouse. I've been chair of it for most of the last 20 years. A boathouse, I think this will be our 21st year. We're half as old as Socrates. If you've seen the yellow kayaks running up and down the river, that's probably us. A lot of people think we live at Socrates Sculpture Park because that's where we run our most popular paddling program, where people can just walk up, sign a waiver, and have 20 minutes of paddling fun in protected waters of Howlett's Cove. People fear the East River because it's notorious. It moves very quickly. It can be bumpy, but Howlett's Cove is a special place where it's quiet and it's a lot like a lake most of the time. We take grandparents, we take children, and it's a wide, stable, 2-seat kayaks. Almost never does somebody go swimming. And if it happens, it's usually because somebody's horsing around or ignoring instructions, fooling around. Let's see what the next slide says. Our programs, public walk-up paddling events, like we just described at Hallett's Cove, mostly kayaks, 2-seat, sit-on-top kayaks. We have some canoes that we use. Rowing is growing. That's a new thing in 2025. We got together with a group called East River Crew. We've actually merged with them. LIC Boathouse and East River Crew are now one as of a month ago. That's good news. We now have kayaking and rowing, 2 big Whitehall gigs. You might see a video of that later on. The kind of boats that George Washington crossed the Delaware in, not those skinny boats you see in college. We also do river trips. We'll go up and down the river. We'll go as far as Brooklyn Bridge Park, typically in about an hour and a quarter, hour and a half. In the other direction, depending on the tides, we can reach the South Bronx in an hour and a quarter or an hour and a half. To get to the South Bronx, we go through Hell Gate, right in front of Astoria Park, past the Brother Islands, and we're up there faster than you can go in a car sometimes. And we don't pay tolls. The river trips are the reward for volunteers. The main point of my message today is we need volunteers to make this happen. Nobody gets paid. It's all run by volunteers. And the more people we have to work with, the more events we can put on, the longer events can be, and the more boats we can bring out. Visit liccb.org for our schedule. Also visit the website to subscribe to our newsletter. That's the best way that you can find out what we're doing next week and the week after. We don't have the whole season figured out, but you can count on, if it's nice out, we'll have something happening on the water. Volunteering with us is easy and it's fun. We'll show you a few pictures of it. We'd like to have you sign up in advance so we know who's coming. But if you make up your mind on Saturday morning, you can still just show up and offer to help. We're happy to have you. Sign up for the newsletter or scan that QR code. Hurry up. What do the volunteers do? There's a picture of boats and people at Hallett's Cove on the tiny beach, almost high tide. All that stuff doesn't happen by itself. Volunteers bring it there. Volunteers put it away at the end of the day. Volunteers make it happen in the midday. Here's what they do. Before anything can happen, volunteers bring the boats out, bring them down to the beach, set them up, put seats in them, bring the life jackets and the paddles, set up the tent, set up the table, spread out the life jackets. And we're almost open for business. The first stop when you come to see us is go to the waiver table, sign up a liability waiver, which you do no matter where you go boating in this city. Identify yourself if you want to volunteer. We'll pair you with an experienced volunteer who'll show you what we're doing. One of the duties is helping people find a life jacket, also known as a personal flotation device, PFD, or life jacket. You want to make sure that the right size, you don't want to put a kid's life jacket on somebody my size or vice versa. Make sure they're all buckled up, zipped up, ready to go. Then the next step for that person is go down to the beach or the dock in the case of Annabelle Basin, and volunteers will help people get in or out of boats. Hand them a paddle, give them a couple of pointers, and give them a push out into the water. It's not real complicated. Most people can figure it out. And if you can't, we are happy to give you some extra special help. When it's all over, volunteers stick around for another hour and break it all down and take it away and store it all for the next time. So there's no real special skills required to volunteer with us. And it's fun. You're out there in the great outdoors, experiencing the fresh air, sunshine, and doing good for your community. And Some people do it because it feels good. Other people do it because they want to go on the cool trips. We don't take everybody to Statue of Liberty, and we don't take everybody out at night to see the fireworks, but volunteers get to go. That is a picture of Hellgate Bridge and the Astoria fireworks. That'll be happening. I think we just learned June 25. We'll be doing that. Capacity is limited. Volunteer 3 or 4 times before that day comes, and we'll bring you to the fireworks. Here's a little video. Let's see if this works. That's a picture of the big rowboats that we got last year. If you want to stay higher and drier, you get in one of the rowboats. The sit on tops, your feet and seat are likely to get wet, but in the rowboat, you're likely to stay pretty dry. And we have a 25% share in one of these big canoes this year. That's new for 2026. 2 people who know what they're doing can take another 12 beginners out for a nice ride in this very stable canoe. We're pretty excited about that. And that will go up and down the river as far as Staten Island, Gowanus, Red Hook, up to Long Island City, and we hope to take that up to the Bronx as well. What do we need besides help at the beach? Special skills. We have a perpetual shortage of graphic artists needed to create posters, banners, flags, the newsletter, any kind of graphic stuff like this PowerPoint slideshow can be better if we get a professional to volunteer and help us with it. Writing and editing for the newsletters and for social media to tell the world what we do. We do a lot of cool stuff. We're not so good at getting the word out. Thanks for Richard for giving me this opportunity today. Event and trip planning. And if anybody has adequate kayaking skills to help plan trips and even lead trips, we're happy to meet you. We're also happy to train anybody to assist on trips. Step by step. Learn by doing is how most of us get there. And of course, grant writing and fundraising. We have an insurance bill to pay. We have other expenses. We need to bring in the money one way or another. Thank you for listening. See you on the waterfront. That's a picture of us in front of Roosevelt Island. Bunch of happy campers. Nobody at the end of the day says this was terrible, I'm not doing it again. Everybody wants to come back and do more of it. I'm under 10 minutes. How about that?
Very good.
I could say a couple more words about our mission. Besides recreation, fitness, fun, fresh air, and sunshine, we advocate for a cleaner environment, keeping the waterways cleaner, and they are in fact cleaner than they've been in 100 years, thanks to the Clean Water Act and the actions we've taken since then to build wastewater plants and stop putting stuff into the river. Mother Nature has cleaned it up. We didn't clean it up. We just stopped polluting, mostly. We want to see more of that. There's room for improvement. After a heavy rain, the water is still pretty dirty. But guess what? After 5 days of no rain, the water is clean enough to swim in. There are swimming events that take place in the city, and we actually support them. We escort the swimmers who can have a hard time seeing where they're going, but our job is to be like a seeing eye dog, help them find their way, and make sure a boat can see. The boat will see us where they might not see the swimmer. So we advocate for the cleaner water, and we advocate for more and better access to it. Places where you can put a boat in the water are few and far between, like Hallett's Cove and Socrates. For miles and miles, there's walls and fences, and you can't get out if you had to. If lightning broke out or somebody was ill, there's a lot of places that you can't get out. So we advocate for better access to the water. 2 of the biggest events of the summer are Solstice at Socrates on June 21st, the longest day of the year. We hope to be there in force with lots of boats for lots of hours. And that, again, will depend on how many volunteers promise to come and actually show up. Summer solstice, June 21. Also, Summer Streets, we just learned, has moved to August 22. Lots of time to prepare and plan for that. Vernon Boulevard will be closed in front of Hallett's Cove. So we'll have a pretty nice stage to perform in front of. We hope to bring everything that floats on that day. And lots of other stuff that you'll see if you subscribe to the newsletter. Not everything has been announced yet, but there's a whole lot of fun coming. I think that's all we got.
That's great, man. Thanks, Ted. Did you put your contact information in the chat so that Victor can post it in the stream?
Everybody's still there.
That would be great. And again, this is one of the highlights of the summer for everybody, the kayaking. It's always a lot of fun down there. That whole strip between Noguchi and Socrates and the community garden and the boathouse is like the active part of it. The rest is more, viewing stuff. This actually gives people a chance to actually go out and recreate. So it's always appreciated, and it's a great event.
Like to see you on a boat this summer, Richard.
God willing, we'll see. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Ted. One thing I want to mention before we bring out our last guest is that there were 4 other institutions along the waterfront here that for timing reasons or whatever couldn't make it, but we did want to give them a shout out. And if you want to reach out to them, I'm sure you can do a Google search and find their information. The first is the community garden, which is by Main Avenue and 8th Street, where they come together. Okay, and that's a very popular facility where people actually sign up and have plots of land where they grow their own flowers and vegetables and things like that. If you're interested, you should reach out to them, and you have to get on a list because it takes a while to get a plot, but it's well worth it. Also, the Noguchi Museum, regretfully, they couldn't make it, but they're another major cultural anchor in our neighborhood. Isamu Noguchi is a world-famous Japanese sculptor, and it's really one of the highlights of anybody doing any cultural events in the whole city of New York. Also, the Astoria Park Alliance, which is another Friends of group like Alejandra was speaking of earlier. They organize all the cleanups and different events and public events in Astoria Park. They've been around for a long time, and they're a very, very well-run institution. And lastly, I'd like to give a shout out to Chateau Le Wolf, which is actually across the street from Socrates Park. It is a privately owned dog cafe, but they also, during the summer, have jazz outside, live jazz playing all the time, and it's a great addition to the whole atmosphere of the waterfront. So again, shout out to all them, and please support them. And now, a good friend. I've known her for many, many years. She used to work for Councilwoman Kathy Nolan. And now she's director of a new group that's put together that's working on the playgrounds surrounding Astoria houses. And I'd like to bring out Aisha Mayfield. Hi, Aisha.
Okay. Oh, hello. Am I still delayed?
Well, the audio is still working, so yeah, you can still get your message.
Wonderful, wonderful. I don't know. My internet looks great on my side, but the streaming is not doing so well. But thank you so much for inviting me to this meeting this evening, Richard. It's an honor to be here. I'm a long-term resident of Astoria community, and in 2023, me and a couple of my neighbors, we got together, and like we heard earlier, we decided to become community leaders for a park group, and we adopted our 2 playgrounds. And so one of the things that we really wanted to do was just activate the space during the summer months in a way that we were able to ensure that the playground stays safe, clean for residents to utilize, but also that everybody who was utilizing the open space would have unique experiences while they were interacting with the space. We did get a wonderful upgrade to the Hallett's Cove Playground, and we thought it very important to protect that and make sure that people are using the park space, appropriately and respectfully. And then we're anticipating some upgrades to the Hollis Point Playground. We're excited and looking forward to bringing programs there. So essentially what we do beautification is my park day events that we don't always announce. So we do anticipate community members who are going to be doing partying and things like that. So we organize as a park group to just go out, hand out garbage bags, things like that. We do litter removals. The Cove Park specifically, like a lot of times we find people like to leave the garbage in the playgrounds, but we have a little bit more knowledge. They prefer us to leave the garbage outside of the playgrounds at the top of the curbs on Vernon. So we'll do that as a courtesy to people, and also, to keep the vermin out because nobody likes rats. To speak more about just us, so we are officially a park group that's recognized by a Partnership for Parks, and we also are fiscally sponsored by FJC, which is basically a foundation that supports public programs through fiscal sponsorship. And so through those two entities, we are able to host events, and we are also able to host our signature events, which are our summer weekend Fun in the Sun programs. We've done those for the last 3 seasons. We've offered specialized programmings. We've had yoga. We've done storytelling for toddlers. And we're always just listening to our neighbors and figuring out what else we can bring to the park. But our main focus is just wellness, fitness. So whether we're doing board games or we're doing track and field games or just double dutch in a park, whatever feels right for the day that might feel fun or a stress reliever, we do that. We also do bring resources to the park space. So we've hosted some health fairs, some wellness fairs, and things like that. This summer, we're looking forward to expanding our fishing clinic that we neighbors got trained by I Fish NYC. And so I Fish New York, actually. And then we hosted these fishing clinics. We had some great donations from Ted. He gave us some fishing gear. We were able to get out on the water. We were able to take about 48 kids out there. And we're looking to expand that program this summer. And we're also looking to participate in 2006 City of Water Day to bring some great events and activities to the waterfront. And we're looking to expand some more educational programs that we've had, just like that are more artsy, but just basically introducing the youth to the just our environment and everything around us and how we interact and live on the waterfront, and using that in their artistic expressions through anime, etc., which was a really good program last season. So we're going to bring that back. So we got a lot of things going on. The summer schedule for 2026 is looking good. We will be outside every Saturday, every Sunday from beginning July through August. And we have in between that a lot of just breakout events. We want to participate in Summer Streets this year. We're already outside when they're outside. So we're looking to actually incorporate and just kind of be on the site map this year. So we got a lot of good things going on. Anybody who's interested in participating, volunteering, we're literally outside. You'll see us in the playground with the orange t-shirts on, and we always have a welcome table, a kiosk where you can come, get information, find out about new programs, sign up for things, and we always have great food. We have great fellowship. In these spaces, a lot of community conversations happen, and we're able to bring this information to our elected officials and things like that. So it's really a great meeting space and place for relief of stress, to get certain things addressed in an organic way. So not formal. You can enjoy a Saturday afternoon, even if you're just going to catch the ferry. There's quick little things you can do, like play a game of knock hockey, play a quick game of Connect Four, and then be on your boat. You can enjoy a cool, refreshing drink, enjoy a icy or ice cream cone, and or just, run through a sprinkler or two, and then, you're off onto your next destination. So we're very much interested in providing people who want to lounge with us all day or play with us all day, providing something for them to do, as well as people who are just passing through. So we had an amazing season last year. We engaged almost 3,000 people last year, one way or the other. And we're just looking forward to the season. And we're also looking to everyone who's spoken and did their presentations. We've actually did a Welling Court tour with some of our kids. So we're looking to make greater connections where we can do things and more in conjunction and collaboration with everybody who's providing these wonderful services to us and to our neighbors. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. The opportunity to follow up with everybody that has spoken today and providing these wonderful, exciting services for our Western Queens side of things on the waterfront. So that's my presentation. We have some upcoming events. So we do have a community litter removal coming up on June 6th at 12 to 2. Everyone's welcome to join us. And then we have, like I said, we're going to participate in City of Water Day. We will also be having the Puppet Mobile Pinocchio production in July. And we are looking to do Summer Streets this year. So those will be like our huge events that we're going to put on. But outside of that, we're outside. Every weekend, you can come out 12 to 4 and have some fun.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Thanks.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Aisha. Okay. So, everyone, it looks like we're up for an exciting summer. There's many, many activities to do. I hope that you guys, everybody out there, takes advantage of them. This is a special place. Astoria, for me, has always been a special place, and this is a special place within Astoria. So I hope that everybody does, again, take advantage of it. We also have an ask. We usually don't do this, but it would be appreciated if you like the kind of events and informational stuff that we do. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. So if you go to our website, www.oana-ny.org, any kind of donations would be greatly appreciated so we can keep going with these events. And with that, everybody enjoy their summer. We thank you, and we'll see everybody next month. Keep an eye out for our agenda for the next month. Thank you so much.